This is a XST 2017 Dodge Durango that we're working on for my automotive merit badge here. 6-cylinder, I may add. Let's get started. The brake fluid we're about to check up on. So there's a little yellow lid here that I can twist off. It says max for the maximum amount of brake fluid. And the minimum is a little bit lower, it's more faded, but right now it looks like we're at max. So it should be good, but we'll take a look anyways. So if you look inside, this is brake fluid stuff. There's a bunch of mechanical things going on. So yeah, it looks good. It's not below the max. It's right at the max, so it should be good. It's back on. All right, so we're gonna be checking the engine oil now. It's this yellow ring right here. I'm gonna pull it out, wipe it down, get the oil off, put it back in, and pull it out to get a more accurate reading. So here we go. It's a little complicated, it's a very small hole. There we go. And you can see there that it does look like it got to the second hole. But the color looks alright. It's kind of like a gold look, which I heard it's supposed to be good. It's not supposed to be black, because black is bad. So I think we should be good. Alright, so here is, we're going to check the coolant now. I'm not going to touch this because it's really hot, but if you come over, it actually says OAT coolant, so this is all the coolant stuff anyways. Right here it says max, below it says minimum. So you're going to want it to be, higher rather than lower. So if it's in between the line right here, you should be good. Ours is at the max, which is even better. So we don't need to come back to this anytime soon. You don't want to touch this because it's really hot due to the engine. In older cars, it's dangerous because when you turn them, they shoot up because of the heat and the pressure. They shoot up, and my dad even saw once where when it flung out, a bunch of green fluid came out, so it's very, very dangerous. You want to be careful, especially the older cars. These ones are probably a little more safer and accessible, but there we go for coolant. So when it comes to the power steering fluid, this car in particular doesn't have it, at least this model. So in this picture here, the power steering fluid would be right here, but since this is a newer model, it doesn't have it. It actually has a power steering motor system, so it's like part of the car's engine and everything, rather than having a little fluid that you can check and change. Windshield washer fluid, right here. You can see it has the windshield, the little spray coming out. So you pop this open, and you're gonna pour in this blue liquid. It's not coolant. That's like gross, acidy looking stuff, weird. This is just like a Gatorade bluish looking color you pour in. And ours is fine because it can hold a lot, but I can see it's down there. We could put more in, but we don't need more right now. The max should be like about right here because you don't want it to overfill or anything, because when it gets hot, it can bubble and all these things happen. So for the transmission fluid, like what's it called, the steering wheel fluid thing, it actually is more like updated, just like that one. You can't really change it these days. You have to go under the car, and it's really complicated. But the best way you can know if it needs to be serviced is it'll let you know on the dashboard, a little blink in red, or just pop up in red. So for this car particularly, no, we can't necessarily change it easily. You have to go all the way under the car, all this crazy stuff. That's for that. All right, so demonstrate how to check the condition and tension of belts and hoses. So down here, you can see the belts and hoses. So there's a belt, and to check the tension of it, you can see that it's tight, it's snug. If you want to check for any wearing, you can look along the sides of it, and you'll see like it looks damaged, and you're like, you probably need to get replace those. And to do that, you just move this to the left, and the belt should pop out. That's that. All right, so this is the fuse box. Let's take a look inside. These are the fuses, the little ones, the colorful ones. These are the relays, the bigger ones. And if one goes bad, you'll know. It looks kind of like it almost burns out. On the back here's a diagram. If you misplace one or you don't know where it goes, you can just look on here and you place it back into place. And there we go. For battery fluid, like again with the other two that I just did, or the other few, it's not as easily accessible as older cars would have them. As you can see right here, this is the negative battery charge. Here's the positive. Pop this. It would be somewhere within here, not really easily accessible. And that's that. All right, so locate and check the air filter. So this is it right here. It comes in through here, goes all around and filters up. So we're gonna move this back right here. I already unlocked them, but usually there's like a clips you have to pull back. A couple in the front right here. And then you can see there's the air filter. So everything gets filtered through here. If it's dirty, you can rinse it off. If it's really bad, then yeah, you can go replace one. So there we go. All right, so now it says check the vehicle for proper operation of its lights, including the exterior lights. So we're gonna do the left one. If you go to the left side, see it's blinking. I'm gonna do the right one now. See it's blinking. And then we're gonna go around to the back. It's a little hard to see, but you can see it's blinking there, so that one's good. I'm gonna turn the left one, so this will actually go on. There we go, you can see it's blinking here. Alright, next we've got the interior lights. Great. Brake light should be on now. Next up, we got interior and overhead lights. Oh, this is interior, all this stuff. Dashboard. We have the warning lights all going on through here, so you can see it says the hood's open. Down there. What else do we got? Yeah, I think that's about it. Just the interior, all these guys are on. They're on the back too. So all the lights are operating in fairly well condition. Alright, so the next one says point out each one of the instrument cluster. So right here is the fuel gauge, you know, French. Speedometer, this one. Right here is tachometer, is that right? It's hard to pronounce, I suck at this. Oil pressure will pop up right here if there's a problem with the oil, and engine temperature's up here. See, it goes hot and cold. That's that. All right, demonstrate how to check pressure and properly inflate a tire. So right up here, where the speedometer is, we have it. So there's a setting where you can see how much pressure each tire has. So they're all pretty much the same: 35, 35, 35, 36. It'll tell you if it's too low or too high. You don't want to make it pop or deflate. So if we come out over here. I've actually done this quite a bit. So using these pumps, you just plug it in the back of the car, and then you hook it right here into these things. Yeah, or you just plug it into it, and you just pump it, and then you go back and forth and check. All right, it's the same as the other cars. You just unplug it, and you're good to go. So the spare tire. Some people have it in the back of their cars. Some people have it like us, right under the car. So if you get the back of your trunk and go under, just pull that out, and you just go ahead and install it, and then you can toss your bad tire where that was, or just toss it in the back of your car. Alright, so how to check the brake system. So here is a brake pad. On the opposite side of this, there's another brake pad that basically mirrors it, and when you hit the brakes, it squeezes down, almost like clutching it, slowing it down, just enough to slow the brakes. So when this wears down, that's why you'll hear people like driving and hitting their brakes screech really loudly, because it's almost like scraping against the metal at this point. So that's when you know it needs to be changed. So that's probably the best way to know, okay, I need to change my brakes. If it's making a weird noise, or it's just not working as efficiently as it usually does. Use jump cables on your car battery. So for this right here, this is the positive charge. That's why it will tell you on the side. This is positive and negative. The positive charge is going to have a red cap on it, which is universally known as this. So this goes there. Red is positive, black is negative. Take this off. Go onto here. There we go. And the black one goes here. And then you take those two on the ground, which are apart, so don't start up something. You hook that up to someone else's car, the positive, negative charge, and it'll jump the dead car's battery. There we go. Take this off. Take this off. Put the lid back on. Good to go. All right, how to perform an oil change. So most neighborhoods and just cities in general aren't allowed to do oil changes because they're such a hazard, they're super toxic, and they're just horrible for the environment. So what you do though is you would go under the car and take out this little nut, here's a picture, and then you're gonna wanna have an oil trap there so it catches all the oil, so it prevents it from spilling all over the place, spilling all over you. So use that. You have to drain the old oil before you put new oil in. So once it's all drained out, put the nut back on, you come over here, take this out, put the new oil in, put it back on, lock it, and good to go.